This video is sponsored by Cricut. Welcome to my home. Now for a crochet artist, a fiber artist, there's clearly not a lot of art going on here in the home. Today we're gonna change that because I wanna start like a home decoration series where I kind of craft everything that I want by hand to deck out my home. So today I have a few different projects planned which are gonna be really fun because a few of these I've never done before. So of course I went to Joann, I picked up a handful of different worsted weight fiber. Now all of these are Red Heart Super Saver, just really good classic 100% acrylic fiber because I want to do a little bit of punch needling. I want to do some more rug tufting, and then I want to also use my Cricut to make like some really cute vases for around the home because y'all know I love my plants. So without further ado, I'm gonna bust out the yarn and let's go ahead and attempt the punch needling. Now, a few days ago, I did do my best to kind of do a trial run because as I mentioned, I've never done punch needling before. It's relatively simple, so I thought I'd kind of show you guys how I'm doing it. So kind of the basic materials that I will need for punch needling, of course, is a hoop, which is like this little plastic thing which holds in the monk's cloth because we use the monk's cloth to physically kind of punch through. This is just like our basic beginner canvas. And as you can see, I have kind of previously outlined a couple other circles here because I want to make some coasters, some matching coasters for my home. I figured it was a really great starting project. They're very small. This was my first test run. Check that out. So it kind of looks a little bit like amoeba. It's kind of given like strep throat. If y'all have ever had strep throat, you know what I'm talking about. And then the other few materials that I will need, of course, is a physical punch needle. This is a little bit of like a thicker, kind of like a thick embroidery needle. Of course, we have attached to the wooden handle. And then I have like this little handy dandy wire that I'm gonna use to string through the acrylic yarn. I bought a lot of acrylic yarn. I'll honestly only go through a little bit of this for the punch needling, which is why I'm going to be using up the rest of the spares to tuft another rug. I figured we could put like a little tufting rug up into the corner of the room where I have the plants and the TV, just completely deck out our home with the handmade goodness. So let's go ahead and jump into the punch needling. I already have my little coasters outlined and I'm just gonna use a basic pen to kind of map out a few different designs for the coasters. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my punch needle and of course my little threader here. And where I have this loop end, I'm going to loop it through and kind of thread it through the back side of the needle so that the loopy side is pointing out the bottom. And now at this point, I can go ahead and grab my worsted weight yarn and just kind of loop it again through that threader. So it's just kind of hanging off there. And at this point, I can pull the tail all the way up through the top of the puncher. You want to find the little hole on the back side of your punch needle and take that threader once more, poke it through that back hole and loop your yarn all the way through. So what I'm gonna do is poke through that punch needle all the way through the canvas, and you wanna make sure that you go all the way up to the top of the handle. Bring my needle out, and I just want the tip to pass over the top of my canvas, move like 1/4 of an inch, and then go back down and push it all the way through. And once you guys get really good, you can pick up some serious speed here. All right, so it's been about another hour. I finished a coaster. Decided to go with like mossy green vibes, just very earthy toned. And then here, look at that. Look at the front of my work. This is gonna be such a cute coaster. Granted, it's not a perfect circle, but I kind of like the mossy vibes going on. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up the other two. In theory, I should be done in about another 2 hours. All right, I spent a good like 3-ish hours working on the punch needling. I think it looks pretty good. I think I did a pretty good job. So this is the wrong side. This is what I ended up with. Not too shabby. Obviously we have a little bit of a checkered theme going on right here. These are supposed to be clouds. And then by far my favorite one is kind of just like the geode random acid wave looking pattern. I'm gonna take the cloth out of my little embroidery hoop here, and then we're gonna get to gluing the backs on. Let's pray that my glue is still liquefied. It's time to bring out the next project. Pulled out my little tufting frame here. And then as for the cloth, I went ahead and purchased this on Amazon, but it's like super huge. So I'm gonna stretch this to the frame first, cut off the excess, and then I can start working on a little accent piece for the living room. It's gonna be the first rug tufting since the move. Very hyped, but do you guys see how massive this canvas is? I think I might be able to squeeze out at least 2 projects from this. So we're gonna save the spare and probably work on another one in the coming weeks. Okay, we have the tufting gun threaded through. This time I'm gonna learn from my past mistakes and I'm going to double strand with my yarn instead of single strand. That way I don't have to keep going over the same spot multiple times. I can kind of space out my work a little bit more evenly. I'm also gonna make sure that my needle is pushed all the way through the canvas because we learned a lot from the last experience and I want this one to be a little bit more, just a little bit more elevated. We're gonna start off with the white threading, but I also have a ton of earth tone colors. So I've got some tans, some browns, and some greens already caked up because the caking makes it work a lot smoother and much more efficiently. Without further ado, let us begin. And in case you guys weren't aware what I have to do to get the shot, caveman style underneath the dining room table. So this is what we gotta do. Hiding the grand surprise because I finished up the rug tuft this morning. So I figured, you know, I might as well come on and show you guys what it looks like. All right, so this is obviously the wrong side. This is the side that I was tufting on. We just got a bunch of these like really funky squiggly waves. And then look at her. Look at what I created. Obviously I still need to go in and like shave it down, use some scissors, kind of carve it out just a little bit. But my gosh, it looks so good. There's such a huge improvement from the very first tufting piece to this one. I feel like those changes that I made earlier with the double strand, spacing out my work a little bit more, and just having like that little bit of experience made this one turn out so much better than I was expecting. Really, really happy with it so far. So I'm gonna pop this off of the canvas, you know, gluing her up, securing the backside. So pumped. For the final reveal, this is what the finished tufted rug is looking like. I'm really proud of myself for just sticking to it, for actually producing something that is a little bit better quality than that first one. Don't get me wrong, I still love her, but the skill set on this one is just a little bit more elevated. And for once, I actually stuck with a little bit more of these simplistic colors instead of a bunch of rainbows. We just have a bunch of different earth tones, a few different shades of like green and teal and blue. So at this point, now that she's like all shaved down and perfect, I'm gonna throw her into the corner of the room. Now for my very last project of today's home decor series, I thought it'd be really fun to break out the Cricut again to show you guys how I'm gonna be using it to finish up these last few projects. And of course, a huge thank you to Cricut for kindly sponsoring today's video. With Cricut, you can create a variety of different projects for any kind of occasion. With my little machine here, you can make greeting cards, stickers. You guys have even seen me make iron-on decals for clothing and merch. So today I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna use some glassware because I really wanna jazz up these drinking glasses with a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more character. So my thoughts for this project are to cut out some checkerboard decals, and then I'm gonna use some etching glass, and hopefully I'm gonna get the end result of like a frosted looking mug. And then for my second project, I decided to pick up some of this glassware from Michael's because y'all know I really love plants, I love propagation, so I'd love to deck out these glasses with some custom decals, and then I can stick my little cuttings in here and then place them around the home. So what I'm gonna do next is head over to the Cricut Design Space, which is a completely free software, and I'm gonna use the Cricut Design Space to craft these projects from scratch. So in the Cricut Design Space, I'm just gonna search for checkers and see if there's any projects that already pop up. Someone has already made a checkered glassware project. And now that I have my design all ready to go, I'm going to get out my Smart Stencil, and I'm just going to use this as like a ruler so I can see how much I need to cut. I'm also going to cut out my little plant decals before I move on to the next step. So I've just added a bunch of really cute like little leaves and flowers and shapes, and then I'm going to cut these out into a few different colors. Whoa, that's so cool. Look at that. And it weeded out super easily. So now I'm gonna use the transfer tape, transfer these onto the tape and then onto the mug. Okay, late last night I finished up the last bit of the projects. They came out so good. So these are the little plant propagation tubes. They just have these really cute decals on them. And then once these are kind of like full with water and the plants, they're gonna look super darling. So cute around the house, especially with like a little bit of the morning light coming through them. Next up, I have the little punch needle coasters, and I'm a huge fan of these. I think I'm gonna have to make myself more. I could even see myself making some very basic wall art with the punch needling. But without further ado, here are the coasters. So I did take the time last night to back them with some carpet glue and then like a no slip carpet backing so that once these are on the table, they're not gonna slide anywhere. And then for the moment you've probably been waiting for, the checkered glasses. As I was rinsing these off, I wasn't sure if the etch had actually worked. The etch worked. It actually worked. So this is what the Cricut made. There's no way I would have been able to make this without the Cricut. Look at that. That is so freaking stunning. And then I also have like the shorter, kind of like whiskey glass, but I use this for juice. The shadow that it casts, this is just so aesthetic. Thank you guys so much for being here, for watching this video and just crafting with me this weekend. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and I'll be back with some more content before you know it.